What's going on, everybody? Rob here with a little video on The Sound of Freedom, the movie about the child trafficking ring. I want to do my review on it because I mean, there was a lot of hype on it. I don't know if you even heard of it, about the child trafficking rings that are worldwide, basically. It's over $1 billion industry trafficking children. So for one, Tim Ballard is a certified badass. Tim Ballard is a certified badass, and him and his wife, they got a nonprofit organization. I guess I should have looked for it, where he worked for the government. He worked on catching child predators, child traffickers, child pornographers, and just in his heart, they were capturing just the end users, I guess you could say, and they were rescuing children. So, him and his wife kind of came up with this thing where he'd go, I don't want to say go rogue, but he left his job to pursue, just because their faith in God, to pursue rescuing children. So to day and age, I guess from the last I've seen, is he's rescued like over 6,000 children. That's a lot of children to be rescued, but there's so much more missing still and being trafficked. Now, this is a worldwide trafficking, but majority of the end users are Americans, so he actually was one that he wanted to close the borders, because in doing his job and traveling the world and trying to stop sex trafficking with open borders, more child sex slaves are able to get through the borders and get to the end point, and one of the things is that if you watch a lot of other movies, just how fast a lot of other, look up child abductions on the internet, look up child abductions on YouTube, and they have like footage, like, the footage from the cameras or whatever, that when these children are abducted, and in the blink of an eye, your child is gone. So the movie was more about Tim Ballard, his beginning of how he became this hero of sorts to rescuing children, and him trying to bring to light and trying to come forward with, this is going on in the world today, and more people need to come together to stop it. Like this Epstein client list and this Epstein Island. It's like the U.S. says, hey, we got aliens, but nobody has been arrested for this Epstein client list other than Epstein. Now, they got this Maxwell chick or whatever, who even knows where she's at, and she's witnessed because they leveraged having these big money people having sex with children, and they leveraged it against them. So she knows what happened. And then on these lists, these client lists, it's just like air list and this for whatever was on the laptop. But, even on these air things, not everybody was there to have sex with children, but here's my thing with the big caveat, they weren't there to have the sex with the children, although they may have seen stuff going on and they don't want to chance their careers saying what went on, because a lot of higher ups, a lot of wealthier people would hold it against them, would blackball them in the industry, So Mel Gibson spoke out a lot about Sound of Freedom. Go see Sound of Freedom, go see Sound of Freedom, go see Sound of Freedom. And he's supposed to have stuff coming out about, more of this Hollywood, he calls it, this stuff that goes on in Hollywood. You hear Dave Chappelle talk about it, you hear Kanye West talk about it. Everybody says something about Oprah, but nobody came out. Like, there's not, Trump or whatever, they think he got the electric frog with 11. He told somebody, you need to find 11,000 things. There's 41 indictments against him. But yet on Epstein's client list in the pedophile island, one of the big finance companies paid off some of the ladies, but you didn't even get to see who the ladies, because they're ladies now, they were teenagers when they were being trafficked, but none of their names were released. Well, they were children back then. Well, they were paid out, so a crime was committed if they were paid out. Well, who committed the crime? Why wasn't that person apprehended? So this movie comes out to say this is happening. We need to be more vigilant. We need to kind of close our borders so they stop. If there's not a market for it, it wouldn't happen. But there's always going to be a market for it. So watch down the road, you're going to be looking for people trying to push that pedophilia is a sexual orientation. You're going to see people down the road try to push that pedophilia is not a punishable crime. It is a sexual orientation. So people are trying to pave the way for that already, and that's what we gotta block. It's not right. A child should be able to grow up and be a child. A child should be able to grow up and be a child and not have to worry about, like he says, that a drug trafficker has found out that he could traffic one bag of cocaine, and that one bag of cocaine is going to be used. But if he has a child that he can sexually exploit, that child can be sexually exploited 5 to 10 times a day, every day of the week, 365 days a year, up to however many years that they're gonna have that child to be exploited. So I mean, this is really just grab your kids, hold your kids, hug your kids, grab your children, hold your children, and watch for them, watch where they go. I still have older nieces that are older teenage nieces that when they go to the bathroom, I still say, don't go to the bathroom by yourself. Don't go to the bathroom by yourself, because there are predators out there watching. When we stop in rest areas traveling, when we stop in restaurants traveling, I watch everything. I watch all around, and you see stewardesses or people like in positions, or restaurant people or waitresses that they're starting to capture, like finding out what's going on, finding out that this person was trafficked, this person's abducted, this person shouldn't be with this person, and they're speaking up, they're coming out, they're being the heroes now, and more people of us need to be that hero. So at the end of the movie, there's a little bit more stuff about what goes on, but you can find it kind of online in documentaries. This movie has been in works or been wanting to be done for 5 years, but they couldn't have nobody pick it up. So finally they had somebody pick it up, and so it's out in theaters, but they don't have the big mucho money of all these other big action movies and action heroes and Hollywood elites and Hollywood executives back into the movie and funding this movie, because they're afraid of that more stuff is going to be uncovered. And that's what the average Joe, that's what the blue collar workers want. That's what a lot of the regular people want. So this is almost like that Jason Aldean song where, that Jason Aldean song was racist, was this, was that, it shouldn't have been said, it shouldn't have been whatever. But he didn't specifically say or target anybody. It's just the people he thought he was talking about them that were offended. So it's almost kind of the same thing like this movie about the child sex trafficking. Is like, it didn't really say anything going after anybody in particular, but there's people that didn't want the information to be released. So man, if the shoe fits, you gotta wear it, and you gotta realize that people are getting sick and tired of the elites getting away with murder. So, I mean, share what's going on. Be more alert. Be more alert if you're out watching, out looking. I know I'm going to be more alert. And, the old saying goes, if you see something, say something. But that's what the good people live. The other people say, rule of the streets are you don't snitch. Rule of the streets are you don't snitch. But if they got kids, snitch. If they got kids, make that anonymous phone call. Make that anonymous something to let somebody know that they're trafficking kids. And you think it's like just from third world countries. Indiana, I know Indiana was one of the states that they busted like a child abduction ring and a child pedophile ring, and that's just across the state line from here. So it does happen locally. It does happen in the U.S. We do need to be more stringent on our borders. Not only that, they got these Ozempic, the medications now. The medications coming through that you can buy off the street. You think you're buying them from the black market, and they're counterfeit. The tubes, the bottles, the injection shots, the box looks like it's from a doctor's and they were stolen. And it's counterfeit medicine that's coming through. So if we had stricter, tighter borders, a lot of that stuff would be caught. Either way, that's my review on Sound of Freedom. Tim Ballard, he doesn't want to be recognized as the badass. He wants to help. He wants the word out to stop all this stuff. Talk to you later. Subscribe, like, and share.